All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday, I believe it is. And on behalf of the Fort Worth Community Arts Center, this is Jason Leyva, and we would like to welcome you folks to another edition of our Boxed Lunch program. We are back in the music industry today, and we have a local artist and are so very glad to have him with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming the one and only Lou Charles. How are you doing today, Lou?
Hey, how you doing today, Jason? Doing good, man.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there and looking forward to another weekend. And I honestly am starting to wonder what's the point of even labeling them anymore. So
It all blurs together. It all
it,
blurs together.
it does. Time is not even an element I consider anymore. So very glad to have you and so appreciative of you taking the time. And before we delve into our fabulous lunch episode, do you mind just introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do?
All right, no problem, no problem. My name is Lou Charles. I'm a Fort Worth hip hop artist. I've been in Fort Worth for a minute. Just ripping and running and putting out crazy dope art and throwing shows and being able to get my music in different placements, different things like that, commercials. Yeah, so really centers around music, but not just music. Also, advocating for local music and musicians via here Fort Worth. That's an organization I work very close with. If it's music and it's in Fort Worth, I love it. I've also been with Amplify 817, the library's new initiative to create an online streaming service. So also partnered with them for that. So, doing a lot of here and there, but it's always streamlined without the music, hip hop in particular.
Awesome. Well, we are so grateful to you and just very appreciative of you taking the time to join us for lunch today. And on that note, what's on your lunch menu today?
What's on my lunch menu? Wait, let me go get it. I saw a lot of people, they were like cooking cool stuff, man. And, I was just like, I'm just going to do a frozen pizza because I'm not a chef. And I know when I'm out of my depths. So, that's what we're going to do. Go to, you can't go wrong with a frozen pizza. So that's
Never. Absolutely perfect choice. And it sounds like it is an Italian menu today. I also am pulling some items out of the freezer and refrigerator. And today I am making some rigatoni with Italian sausage. So the only prepping that I'm really doing today is heating up some spaghetti sauce and some pre-made Italian sausage and boiling some noodles. So it sounds like we'll have plenty of time to discuss why our elements are heating up. And do you want to give a shout out to the pizza makers? Do you have a favorite frozen pizza?
Yes, I do. Like this is Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's is cool and everything, but I'm more of like the Whole Foods pizza. Those are the best frozen pizzas. So you can get them on cheap for Amazon too. So if Amazon cut me a check, but the Whole Foods are the pizza. Just FYI.
And what's your pizza selection today?
Oh, today it's pepperoni. We're keeping it classic, keeping it simple, just going pepperoni, frozen pizza.
Very nice. Now, I've got to give out a shout too. I have talked again and again about this little grocery store in Krebs, Oklahoma. So I just want to say hello to Lavera's Grocery out there in Krebs. There's a little website down there on the bottom. I can't even begin to tell everyone order. They'll ship to you. They have some wonderful products, and laverasmarket.com. They have some of the best Italian food that I've ever had the privilege to eat. So I've got my water boiling and my sauce starting to heat up. Tell us a little bit about the preparation that goes into creating a classic, delicious frozen pizza.
Classic. Okay, so where a lot of people mess up, they don't preheat the oven right. You know what I mean? So for me, I knew we were going to do this, so I came prepared. So I already preheated the oven. So the oven is at, what is it? It's at 425. Okay, so we got it nice and ready to just slide it in, you know. And that's another thing. I don't put it on a pan. If you put it on a pan, you get the soft bottom. So you just slide it right in, you know.
Sounds great. There's nothing better than the directions when they're right there for you to follow. It makes takes all the guesswork out of a good lunch. So, all right. So Lou, whenever you're prepping your pizza, I was curious if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about how has your music and your writing been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, so I guess, you know, music has been affected. I mean, you know, we haven't been able to perform at shows. Writing, the creative aspect, I mean, there's so much going on in the world. There is so much to talk about, but like when the first string of shutdown and everything hit, I kind of wasn't even in the creative mood. Kind of sucked me out of that creative zone. So it took me a little bit of time to kind of rebound and bounce back. But recently, man, just trying to be innovative. And, you know, during the, I guess, COVID season, which started in what, March?
Yeah.
Started in March. We've dropped about 6 singles. We've done a virtual concert, like a live concert, the virtual concert. What else did we do? We did, you know, just giveaways to try to keep the fans involved and engaged. Drop new merch. So, you know, just doing a little bit of anything, everything that we can possibly do, just to keep people entertained and engaged. So it's been you know, a constant pivot, if you will, but you know, that's what makes it fun. You know, there literally is no wrong answer right now. Like I could do anything right now, and you know, it is what it is.
Now I'm curious, and I might be jumping ahead here a little bit in the interview. You say that you've done some virtual performances as well. Now, I saw that there is a wonderful, exciting event that is called Lollapalooza, and it looked as though that happened almost a year ago, I believe, with Lollapalooza 3. Is that still on the boards virtually? Is that an ongoing thing every year? And how are you planning on dealing with something like that as well?
Right. So we had Lollapalooza Live. So we called it Lollapalooza Live this year. And we had a virtual concert. And I thought it was really cool opportunity for people who are my fans are out of town that can't necessarily make it to Fort Worth. So we had people tune in from Canada, Mexico. We had people from Atlanta, LA, all over the world, really. Even had somebody from Nigeria tune in. So, but we had people all over the world tuning in for this live concert, and we kind of cut it up and did, you know, had a fairly strong visual component to go along with it. We did it, shot it in a studio, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So it was just another example of how we just kind of took what we were given and said, okay, what can we do to make something out of it? And I think that that's really the big emphasis, you know, during this time is like, okay, yeah, I can't do my traditional show, and I'm kind of bummed out about that. But what are we gonna do to, you know, take lemons and make lemonade? So that's kind of what we did with Lollapalooza Live. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that event went out and looked quite interesting, and some wonderful talent there as well. So now, is that still accessible, or was that a full live event? Were you able to capture it, and is it out there somewhere for people who might be interested, or do we have to wait for next year's event?
Right. So it was a live event. We got it captured. Right now we're working on. I'm kind of cutting it up and editing it and getting it nice and pristine. So we will have that out there in the world in portions. You know, in the future. But right now it's kind of you know, we kind of kept it under lock and key. You know, one thing I like to do is create this sense of, what's the word? Exclusivity for my
Yep.
fans. You know, I want my fans to feel like, you know, oh, we got in on that first, and we're in. That's kind of what I wanted to do with this first installment. We will definitely be doing some more shows, virtual concerts, and I don't like to call them like virtual streams. It's like it's a full experience. It's like it's visual. It's awesome. It's really awesome what we were able to do. So we will have some of those coming up. So be on the lookout.
Exciting.
Stay in tune for sure.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned you had some different folks coming from some different parts of the world. Now, you yourself also have a history of some travel, it looks like. Texas native, but you've been in Trinidad and some other places, Cairo, Egypt. What brought you back to Fort Worth, and what took you away from us?
So what took me away from, I was a kid, my dad's job had us traveling anywhere, everywhere. We also lived in like Louisiana for a stint. So I've been around. I was always the new kid, you know what I'm saying? But what brought me back was I had an uncle I have an uncle that lives in Fort Worth. So, you know, once I hit 17, they sent me back to the States, and I crash landed in Fort Worth for sure.
Nice. And so do those experiences in some of those different parts of the world, have they had an effect on your music, or do you find that the Americanization, if you will, is the focus of and I'll ask rap in particular. Have you brought some of those things that you saw and heard over there into your music?
I definitely think that I brought some of the things I saw into my music. I grew up in I grew up in countries where, you know, I didn't speak the language at all. I was able to kind of be conversational a little bit, and all through and through, you know, I was just had my headphones on. People would talk to me. I wouldn't even hear them. I would have my headphones on. And the whole time that I'm listening to this music, it's kind of keeping me rooted in the fact that, you know, I might be on the other side of the world, but, you know, I'm listening to Houston rap, and I'm still that person in this crazy, or I don't want to call it crazy, but strange, different environment. And I definitely take some of those stories, some of those things I see. As far as sound, it opens my ear a little bit, in a sense that, you know, I'm able to hear something and it not sound completely foreign. Like I'll hear, you know, maybe dance hall track, and I'll be like, you know, I might hop on that, you know, from my time in Trinidad, or I might hear, you know, an Arabic, you know, chant or something, and be like, yo, we need to sample that and throw that in the music. So definitely affects my music. And I also think it affects my, like, just the stories I tell, thoughts I project. One of the reasons I am able to have, you know, a diverse, wide range fan base.
Wow, very, very interesting stuff. I can only imagine. So who are some of your influences musically?
Musically, I would say Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest. Definitely, when I first started wanting to rap, like that was like all I listened to. Obviously, Kanye West. Obviously, you know, more the East Coast. You know, Nas. Current day, J. Cole. Just you know, heavy East Coast rap. I also like, you know, when I say Texas. You gotta go with Chameleon and Paul Wall, Trey the Truth, you know, Zero, Mike Jones, all that. Everybody who came out in that during that wave really influenced me for sure. UGK, I gotta go without saying them, but yeah, Outkast. So yeah.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So in this crazy time with all of the things that are going on, and not just in the pandemic, what have you learned about yourself, or even your art during these crazy times?
I've learned that I have to get over not doing anything. That drives me crazy. And anybody who knows me, you know, knows that, like, every day I sit down and I write down like everything I've done during the day. And some days when that list is short, I'll go to sleep just like upset when I So I've learned that I just got to be okay with being limited, or also it's taught me that I'm more ingenuitive. I got more ingenuity than I did. Just being able to kind of connect things and make things happen, and I got more. I'm more of a, like, when I think of myself, I don't think of myself as like a hustler per se, but what I've been able to kind of connect and put together and piece has shown me that I have a little bit more of that in me than I thought I did. So it's definitely been cool in that regard, for sure.
Very nice, very interesting. All right, so did you get your pizza in the oven yet, or?
It's in the oven. I'm like, how much more time do you have? Because I got 3:30 on my timer right now.
I don't even have a clock anymore. I couldn't tell you.
You're a professional. You're a professor. You're a professional. I have to put the timer on. See, okay.
I just put my finger in the middle of it and see if it's warm.
See, I'm dealing with the. See, I'm dealing with the stuff.
I just go on from there. So
that's exactly why I got the frozen pizza, because I knew I was out of my depths. I'm dealing with a 5-star chef over here who just dips his finger in. See, there we go.
Yeah, that's my secret tip for the day, is just put your finger in it. If it's warm, it's ready to eat. So, so Lou, whenever you go about writing, do you set time aside? Do you say, I'm going to write from, noon to 2? Or are you more inspirational when you see or hear something, or just when that muse strikes? How do you go about your process of creating your lyrics and your music?
So I'm a little bit of both. Like, for me, I'm definitely an inspiration, strikes kind of guy. But also, if I have a deadline, or I have something that needs to be done, because it is art, but there is a business aspect to it. I just sit down and I go through. I have a folder of beats, and I just go through my folder of beats that different producers have sent me. And then when I find one that sticks, that's the song that's getting made. Whatever is in me just spills out. We work on that track there. So I never go in or start the day with the intention of knowing, okay, I'm gonna make a ballad about a girl that broke up with me in high school today, because I never do that. But whatever it really starts off a feel. And whatever that feeling that production kind of inspires is where I go with it. So
nice, very interesting. So, do you mind talking a little bit, or telling me a little bit about the themes, or even the ideas that are behind your recent album, In Transit 2?
Okay, yeah, in transit. So I'm in transit. I'm on my way to this destination. I haven't got there. It's about progression, looking forward, kind of like more of a coming of age, if you will. And that was kind of what I wanted to go into in transit with. During this road or what goal or journey, there'll be ups and downs, and kind of just navigating through these different ups and downs with songs like the first song, On My Way, really kind of encapsulates the whole album and everything that you're going to see. We even talk about dealing with relationship issues on songs like No Fool, or dealing with family issues, like on the song Pray. So it's all about, it's just about living life with this idea that I have something, a goal that I want to attain, and everything that comes with trying to stay focused on what you're on your destination. So that's kind of In Transit 2. Oh, perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Sounds like the timer works just fine.
See, this is where personal preference comes in. So I'm just gonna put like a little extra time on it.
Just a touch of Christmas.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. Now, I didn't stick my finger in. I did the eyeball test.
Well, it's another great thing about eating alone is that you don't have to worry. You know, you don't even need a spoon really most of the time. You can just kind of use your hand or whatever when you're not sharing food. You don't have to worry about that. So,
For sure.
any secret tips on the pizza? Now you just mentioned putting a little extra crisp on there. Do you
Right.
add any seasonings or anything to it that ensure deliciousness?
You know what? I'm so like always on the go that like whenever I do eat, it's always delicious. So like whenever I do eat that pizza, it's gonna be great. But I don't have any. I got some red pepper over there, so I might drop those red pepper flakes on it. I just saw that over there, so I'm definitely gonna do that. Sometimes I do Parmesan, but I'm not feeling like a Parmesan guy today, so I'm not gonna do that. But I think the red pepper flakes are so essential. Always,
You
always,
can
always.
never go wrong. I think I might throw some of those in mine as well. So, now you mentioned working with the advocacy group as well. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about what they're about and their mission and what it is they do?
Yeah, here in Fort Worth, it's about making Fort Worth a music-friendly city. So they've gone through this entire certification process with the state of Texas. Fort Worth actually was the first music-friendly city in the state, not Austin. A lot of people think Austin, but not
Nice.
Fort Worth. But yeah, so they do a lot of different things to try to make artists um, want to live in Fort Worth and make being an artist in Fort Worth. Wait 1 second. Being an artist in Fort Worth a little bit more manageable. So, all right, I'll let that cool for a bit. But yeah, here in Fort Worth, they do a lot of different things. From had town halls. I'm kind of gauging and getting the idea of everything that artists hearing their experiences and trying to better serve the musician community. And that's one thing I love about it. Once upon a time, we didn't have anybody looking out for artists.
Right.
So it's cool to have that platform, as well as them having the ear of some of our local politicians and officials. So being able to kind of just push live music forward. And I think they even did when COVID first hit, they had a grant program
Oh, nice.
yeah, for local artists. I think those funds have been exhausted, but that was just in one example of the different things that they've had their hands in doing for local artists, for sure.
Awesome. I'm assuming all types of music.
All types of music, and that's something that I was big on, and that's kind of how we kind of that was the intersection that we met at, right? I went to a town meeting that they had just randomly. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pull up. And I pulled up and they were talking about all these crazy cool initiatives that they were doing. It was, all of this, and but it was centered around and the image of a guy with a guitar and a cowboy hat. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, ugh. Now I do from time to time, I listen to guys who play guitars, and I listen to that kind of music every now and then. But that was something that I brought up to them and said, "Hey, y'all doing all this cool stuff. Hip hop, other genres, are they? What are we trying to do here?" And something that a statement that they echoed was, we don't know what we don't know. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, let's try to figure some stuff out. So from there. That was about maybe a year and a half ago, year or two ago. But since then, they've definitely been more intentional about including other genres, which is really cool, really cool.
Oh,
Really cool.
yeah, absolutely. And so do they have a website? Where do we find out about them?
Here Fort Worth, they're on social media at Here Fort Worth on Instagram. Yeah, on Twitter, everything at Here Fort Worth, Facebook, Here Fort Worth. I'm not sure what the website is. I see we got somebody moderating. Maybe they can
Oh
quickly
yes, I'm
quickly
sure
look.
we'll be able to track it down. So, and if they've
Yeah,
got a Facebook or social media,
yeah,
I'm sure that we'll be able to track it and get it down there in the comments for any other artists that are looking for
sure.
some of those resources and a way to get involved in that. So, are you happy? Do you see inclusion coming into their circles? And have you seen some growth in a broadening of who it is they're trying to reach?
Yeah, I'll say that. The first year that I worked with them, they had a South by Southwest event, and it was a 2-day event, and they brought down artists to Austin to perform. That first year, out of the 2-day event, I was the only hip hop artist there. Our 2-day event. It went by. We did the show. We had the biggest crowd when we performed. So they brought me back and they were like, "Hey, let's do it again." And I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it again." But this year, let's bring some other acts. And then so we went from me being the only act to the next year us having what they call the hip hop happy hour, where I was able to bring down Smooth Vega and Solar Slim, and we had a full hour block uh, where we just performed and did our music, and that was really cool. And then to piggyback off of that, this year, Visit Fort Worth, they had an ad campaign, the modern Discover the Modern West, and with that ad campaign, they used one of my songs.
Nice.
So you could see kind of like the art getting into different spaces and in front of different eyes. And if you were to tell me once upon a time that you know Fort Worth would embrace rap music or anything like that, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's extremely encouraging that we are branching out and working to engage with that equality and getting all of those forms out there. There are messages that are extremely important, and I know that as an artist, it's challenging enough to just get your art out there. And so it's nice to know that it's being supported outside of its own audience and hopefully growing to be able to reach beyond that. So hats off on the advocacy. That's absolutely great, and nice to know that you're engaged and involved in opening up Fort Worth. I think it's sometimes we think that cowboy hats and cowboy boots are the only thing here, and it's
Right.
so encouraging to know that people are voicing a lot of other artists and opportunities that are, I believe, equally as accessible to Fort Worth. So, yeah, there's a lot more people here than cowboys. And while I also love to ride a horse and do some of those things, I also like to venture out of my own comfort zone and make sure that I'm keeping up with the arts in general. And so good for you for passing that message on and advocating. So it's important. And again, let us know. And if we can do anything to support that, we'll get that message out there too. So, so I'm curious, with all that being said, in the midst of the pandemic and all of the things that are going on in the world, how do you see the arts adapting through all of this, and where do you see us moving towards in getting our message and our art out there? How
Right.
do you see the music industry adapting?
I think it's forever changed, right? Because I guess prior to this, a lot of artists kind of leaned on the show money. Like we just like leaned heavily on that. Like, okay, I guess as long as I can pack out a venue, I'll be able to make my coin. I think moving forward, you're going to see a lot of more artists take more control over their streaming and those avenues. because I mean, at any point in time, this is shown that at any point in time, even that show money is not promised. So I definitely see that happening. As far as on like maybe a smaller scale, more indie route, I think that it's going to be um, a constant, you know, need for innovation. Like to me, one of the things that I've done, I've tried my best to not sell just a song. Like I don't want to just sell a song. Like that's thinking too small. When you're a fan of Lou Charles, I want to sell not just a song, but I want to sell the T-shirt. I want to sell the live stream. I want to sell like an experience, more of an experience, right? I want you to feel like I sell a brand bigger than just selling. So I think
Sure.
that's really where the arts are headed. Now, as far as communicating that, I think that we're going to have to, if you want to be a successful artist and have a thriving fan base and be able to kind of like live off of this, I think that we're going to have to figure out what channel are we going to communicate through. Because while Facebook, we're on Facebook Live and we have Instagram and we have Twitter, they really do a good job of controlling how much of your audience can see what's going on.
Oh, yes.
So always fighting that algorithm is something that's just like, I mean, I feel like me and the algorithm are like boxing every day. Like I'm trying to get, every time I get a post up and I get like 100 likes, I'm like, oh, I won this round. Okay, let's go. It feels like I'm always fighting this algorithm. But I think the kind of figuring out, okay, how can we create this constant communication and engagement? Because I think that's one of the reasons why artists love live shows, is because they get that instant gratification.
Oh, yes.
Like I know right at this moment if this song is what you guys want to hear, and I think kind of building that kind of two-way street is very important. So that, I think that's kind of the next thing, is figuring out, okay, how can we, and if I was somebody watching, steal my idea, build the new new social media. But I think that's like, as far as like innovation goes, I think that's the next step, is kind of like, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that's cool, but how are we going to build that connection?
Yeah, and a lot of that is just the ability to follow up. We put all this stuff out in a social media world, and we think that it's reaching the far ends of the earth, and sometimes it can be a little difficult to see how that reach is being perceived and pocketed in a sense, because we always say, oh well, I put it on Facebook, everybody should have seen it, and then you hear your friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
And
Like, it's crazy to me. We get you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No. There was a lag. We're good. There's a lag. But keep going. I was listening to your idea. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I assume everybody that's on my Facebook page or my friend has seen my content. And then the more I talk to them, they're like, oh, I didn't even realize you had a Facebook page.
Dude, I'll tell you this. It's crazy because they did the ultimate, like Mark Zuckerberg did the ultimate okie doke, right? He said, build your entire thing on here, but now we're gonna monetize you being able to touch your people. And it's like, it's awesome. I get the business idea. I get it. But for us as artists, that's one reason I push creating email lists, or I push have a start a text, text people, like start that out. There's tons of those that you can. Now, this is the crazy, like, it's just, you just got to be innovative and try to figure that out. How to stay in contact. I think that's a constant struggle, and that's the whole reason why people want to kind of build those social media followings, just so we have that constant touch. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think people need to continue to realize that social media is a part of the process, not not the whole thing. And it really is a tool, and not the be all and end all that some people think it is. And
Right.
so
Right.
it'll be interesting to see how people take all of these new, interesting elements and then continue to blend them to use them as resources as well.
Right.
So
Right.
speaking of resources, I was curious, what sort of helpful community resources are you seeing or using personally? And
Mm-hmm.
how can you as an artist be assisted or feel you can provide assistance to other artists or organizations?
Good question. Good question. So, as I kind of referenced earlier, the Here Fort Worth grant, and it was started by Rachel Golay, who's like a talented musician. Hands up for the musicians for kind of taking it in their own hands. But they partnered with the United Way for the grant. Now, I'm kind of talking, side channel. They're working on trying to replenish that fund so they can provide more help for artists, but they did have that grant. So I've seen several grants out there. I saw a Preserve the Fort grant that was out there as well. So you could tell that Fort Worth is definitely working to try to keep their artists creating, doing things. 'Cause that's to me this little renaissance period that I feel in the city that's happening. When you think about just local business owners, you think about the arts, you think about just the city officials that are empowered. There's a little I feel a mood or a moment, right? So you can definitely tell that with the arts, the city is being intentional and trying to help the artists as much as they can. I think right now, as far as what can I do to help an artist? Um, hey man, I'm trying to figure it out. One day at a time. I'm trying to figure it out as well. So hit me up on Instagram. You got an idea you want to shoot by me? Pick my brain or anything. I'm always down for a conversation. But it's to me, it like I said earlier, the beauty of it right now is that there is no wrong answer.
Yep.
There's literally no wrong answer. If you want to go hop on Facebook Live for 24 hours and record lock yourself in the studio for 24 hours and record yourself on Facebook Live for a day straight, do it. Do it. I don't know what that will do for you. You'll probably be exhausted by the time the 24 hours is up, but do it, man. So I think that you got to just like strip away that initial fear because there's a lot of artists I've seen it, in the hip hop community. It's just like they stopped. Like this happened and they stopped. And I just want to, if I could say anything, like don't stop. Like just keep doing do something. Like you can't go wrong by doing something. And like for me, I've been dropping more music than I normally do. I'm really big on like I'll give you a little bit and then pull give you a little bit. But like I said, 6 singles over this time. I think I haven't dropped 6 singles in a minute. Yeah, just do something. Be active.
Nice. Now that might kind of jump on my next question here. So I know that I don't want that pizza getting cold. So we're going to move on to plating. While I'm doing that, do you have any other tips or tricks to stay sane mentally, artistically, physically while we're all going through all of these changes?
Stay sane. Artistically, yeah, I would say artistically, just keep moving, man. Nothing's worse than an idle mind, right? So I always say just keep moving, keep doing something. Make sure you are doing something. I think for me, just setting aside some time. Also setting aside some time just to do something that makes you happy. Like making music does definitely make me happy, but even I get tired of anything, right? Like
Right.
Yeah, I get tired of anything. So one thing I did, like I think it was last week, I went found a park. I was by myself. Okay, I was by myself in the park and went and shot my basketball for like an hour. And when I tell you that, dude, when I tell you that it like I felt like happy that I was able to do something that just, like and by no means am I like Jordan or I'm saying I'm like the next Steph Curry or anything like that. But just being able to do something that, I have great memories to and everything like that. It was a relief. It was a relief to kind of get that feeling back for sure.
Yeah, it's a challenge to stay engaged physically and mentally, and there's all kinds of stuff out there for people that I hope they're finding, and even if it's just moving and thinking, certainly to stay engaged both physically and mentally, hopefully will continue to power us through all of this. So. All right, so I've got another question for you, and I'm really just I'm curious as an advocate and a rapper. What are your thoughts on Kanye West? I noticed you mentioned him as an influence musically.
Right.
What are your thoughts about where he's heading and what's going on with him these days?
I think like Kanye, it's kind of sad, man. I think right now he's sick. Obviously, I think he's sick right now. But thoughts and prayers go out to Kanye West. He is by far to me one of the most influential hip hop artists of the last 20 years. He's a genius. He's literally a genius. And with that, he thinks at a whole different wavelength than like yeah. And a lot of the things that he says, I get what he was saying, but he didn't say it in like an automatic, like a coherent way. So the tabloids and everything, they take it and they run with it. Yes. I was having a conversation with somebody a couple days ago, and I told them, I was like, my biggest fear for Kanye West is that he ends up like Michael Jackson, ostracized. I see it happening. Like I see the path that is going. I'm like ostracized, then afraid to come outside, like everything that happened to Michael Jackson. I see that potential in Kanye West and having a tragic early death. Like I'm praying, I'm hoping that whatever he's going through, he gets the help that he needs to kind of divert him off of that path. But I definitely see, unfortunately, parallels there.
Right.
Sure.
Well, I know that his support system is certainly reaching out and doing what they can. And I only ask because artists they get a lot of flack for trying to step outside and use their platforms often. And so I was just curious, you being a rapper and an advocate as well, how you see the worth in that. And we seem to have no issue listening to other people state their opinions, present their views, and then we get artists that are elevated with their abilities and the platforms that they have, and we seem to want to, shut them down and pigeonhole them. And I think people lose sight that at the end of the day, and I think we're seeing a lot of this with politicians and their transparency of being able to communicate with them, that they're just people. These are just ideas. And I just don't think it's fair to try to bring all these people down when so many other people want their opinions heard. So, so I just find it very interesting that we're just so quick to try to topple and so aggressive in the way we build up things, and just so quick to try to take them down.
Tear down. Yeah, that's the American way. They build you up just to bring you down, and you got to always be mindful of that. That's kind of just like, to me, part of the game, if you will. Like they build you up just to tear you down. But as far as like artists go, artists are people, man. The same reason you love my ability to sing this one song and you like that one note that I hit, everything that I've gone through put me in the position to be able to hit that one note that you like on that one song.
Absolutely.
So for you to accept that, but then deny the entire person, I think that's where we come into an issue. Like, for me, I love Kanye West. I love Kanye West without a doubt. Now, like I said, there's certain things he says that I'm like, I don't know, Kanye. But I'll listen to it, agree, disagree, whatever. But for me, it like where he's at right now, and what he's saying, I don't think that's I don't know if this is a true reflection of his thoughts or necessarily if he's just going through something right now.
Sure.
But I think that you can't, especially with hip hop, right? I hate this because I see it all the time. I see it all the way from like small local clubs to to the major stages. You can't have black art and not have black people associated to it.
Great point.
You like, and that's what I don't like. I don't like you telling like everything from even NBA players telling LeBron to shut up and dribble.
Yep.
No, you can't have a black entertainer, black anything, and not have the black person that's attached to it. So I think that's really important. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And I'd like to kind of add on to that. How do you see communities coming together to battle these issues around us today? The race, the pandemic, the mask issues, the monuments. How do we get around this and just simply hear and unite one another?
Right. I mean, I think at this point, to unite is to have understanding, right? So like I can listen to what you have to say, and have a great back and forth, the discourse and everything, but at some point, we've got to stop trying to politicize everything, and we've got to say right or wrong. Is this right or is this wrong? And then have that empathy to say, okay, I'm not gay. Okay, I'm not gay at all. All right, but I can put myself in your shoes and hear your grievance. And you know what? You don't like when people use that word. I will not use that word because it hurts you.
Yep.
And it hurt. So I think that, I think that it's important to have one empathy, and empathy is just putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And then also understanding that you having this empathy is not taking away anything from somebody else or taking anything away from yourself. Okay, I have to speak in a certain way or use certain vernacular when talking about people. Okay, cool. Now, how in the big scheme of things is that going to affect the house that I live in, the car that I drive? No, it's not. Sure. So why do I have to do it? I've been doing this my entire life. Well, you have to do it because it's wrong, and we need to come back, and we need to change some things because when the founding fathers did it the first time, they did not get everything right.
Right.
Nor did they think 400 years from now they would see this.
Yeah.
Gosh, you show Thomas Jefferson Google, his mind would explode. Come on, man. Like that's what it's crazy to me that, we think that, they got it all right the first time. They got a lot of things right, but not everything. So I think that, having that ability to kind of just sit back and say, you know what, we need to change this and come together and change this so that everybody, when they're born, we all have the same equal opportunity. I think that that's important. And we also don't raise up symbols that reflect a time that once was. And America is huge on their symbolism, and I understand that they draw upon that history, but it's a history of what?
Sure.
You know, so you know, I could talk all day about that, but
Well, you made some great valid points there. And, you know, honestly, Lewis, the whole point of the Box Lunch program is to just have conversations, to express our ideas, and to get them out there to share and let people know that they have a voice, they have a platform, and I hope that these communications are able to do something, even if it's a small pebble in a pond, and that ripple is able to bring some people closer together, change some ideas and some viewpoints that we just seem so set on holding on to. And you know, I just can't thank you enough for taking the time. And it just means a lot to hear your opinions and know what it is you're about. So, so on that note, where and how do we find out about Lou Charles, keep up with your music, and keep up with you
right.
as an artist?
Okay, you can give me all social media platforms at Lou Charles TX, at Lou Charles TX. You can find me Spotify, Lou Charles with the $sign. You have to have the $sign. It's so important. Don't forget the $sign. And you can also get me, my website is whoisloucharles.com. So those are the three main ways to kind of keep in touch.
Awesome. And I think hopefully it's not a spoiler. You had mentioned that your weekend's plans included maybe some new music as well.
Yeah, just going to the studio. Just going to the studio. Regular routine visit to the studio. Just working on.
Nice. Well, I'm going to keep checking out. You've got some great videos on YouTube as well. I did look into some of those. So keep up the wonderful work. And keep advocating. We need more people like you. So with that being said, are you ready to present?
Oh yeah, I kind of there we go. Oh, see, you did that. Okay, see, this is fine.
Yeah. That looks great. Lou, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. I just really have enjoyed the conversation. And any final words for anybody out there?
No final words. Just stay connected, man. Everybody stay connected. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, Lou. Thank you so much for a wonderful lunch. I hope your pizza turns out as great as it looks. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Box Lunch. We'll be back on Monday. So please take care of yourself. Take care of each other out there. Have a safe weekend, everybody. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Bon appetit, everybody. Have a great day, Lou.
You too.